he said. Like,
okay. Hold on one second.
Maybe, like I said, Houston or somebody, maybe.
All right, flipping over to the West Coast now. We're gonna start with the West Coast and all of the West Coast games and series. And the first one, like we did on the East Coast, we're gonna start with the 1-8 matchup, which is Utah versus Memphis. Who you guys got in the Utah versus Memphis series? We just saw Memphis come off of the play-in. They won 2 straight games, and now they kind of rolling a little high. Ja try to prove himself to Steph and everything like that, and just prove himself to the league. Now he going against Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley. Mike Conley, who used to play for Memphis. So it's a lot of going back and forth. I think that series is a little bit more. I think that series is a little bit more even than what people want to think about it, or it's closer than what people think it is. But on y'all opinion, who you think gonna win between Memphis and Utah?
Man, the Grizzlies beating them in 5. 5. Grit and grind. Nah, but for real though, like before they end up trending somewhere. Utah wins. The Grizzlies match up pretty well with Utah, like as far as like personnel goes. I think Utah's better, but I think the Grizzlies, it's not one of them situations where we got a team that plays small against a team that plays big, and it's going to be a mismatch. Like these games are going to be, these are going to be like what I would say like 100-point games, where both teams like are going to. It's going to be some defense play. It's going to be some fouling. This is probably one of the I won't say uglier series, but this is going to be one of those kind of like when they say throwback series where you got bigs posting and you got guys fouling and playing defense.
It's
so
the Memphis San Antonio type series.
Yeah, so it's going to be like an old school series. It's not like if you're looking for 130 points, it ain't going to be in this series. But I think Utah wins in 6. Like I might be pushing it a little bit. I think the Grizzlies can get 2. Utah is one of those teams where, especially depending on the health of Donovan Mitchell, like that's going to be the biggest part of it, because if he can't go or he's not really right, then the series is very different. Because it's not the Mike Conley from 5 years ago, and like Rudy Gobert is not anybody that I'm expecting to get 25 and 15 from. Not like he'll get you 17 points. He can probably get you 13 rebounds, but he's not that guy that I think like that's gonna go get 25 rebounds. Like now, he'll get you 5 blocks, but realistically, it depends. Valanciunas can pull out and shoot a 3. Like it might not be great, but he can step him out a little bit. So just kind of see like the series is gonna be interesting, but I think Utah has a little bit more time, especially if Donovan Mitchell is if 80% or more, like they're gonna beat the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies just don't have enough firepower. I think like Ja's really the only guy that they're really gonna be focused in on controlling. I know we got this Jaren Jackson Jr. and I understand that Grayson Allen can hit a couple threes, and I like the makeup of the team, but I don't. It reminds me a little bit of. It reminds me a little bit of the Knicks. Like I think that Ja's. I mean, of course, we want to just put him in Julius Randle day into like that, the one guy on the team role. The Grizzlies gonna play hard, but hard doesn't. I mean, if 4 or 5 when the teams are pretty much equal, that's one thing. But when you're talking about 1-8, like I think that the Grizzlies just don't have enough yet. We're on a good path, but they just don't have enough just yet. They need a like a legit 2. They need another guy that they can just throw the ball to on the wing, and he can go get a bucket. Like everything is focused on Ja and what he can do. Dylan Brooks has never seen a shot he didn't like, but I don't know if he's gonna be consistent enough making shots to really be like a scary second option. So I say Utah in 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Utah in 5. I think they're a better coach team. They win by committee. That's how they was able to stand in one spot even after Donovan Mitchell went down. They remind me of the Atlanta squad with Teague, and when they had like 4 outside, they won by committee. They move the ball, they shoot a lot of threes, they make a lot of threes, and they play defense. So I think they got a better, well-rounded squad than Memphis. Memphis has a lot of young talent, but none of them are experience in the playoffs. None of them kind of know what they're getting into, and I think Utah has a sour taste in their mouth after losing last year. But I think that it depends on Donovan Mitchell's health. If he's healthy throughout the series, then yeah, I think it's closer to a cakewalk because Memphis just has a terrible time closing games. They can get up on you, but they have a terrible time. They almost didn't close the game the other night. Just just went Super Saiyan on them. But I don't think that if all things is even and Donovan Mitchell is squaring and they facing head up, then I think that Utah will gentlemen sweep them. They better coach. I think they're better, well-rounded from top to bottom in terms of people knowing their roles. Like we were talking about with the Knicks. Memphis got 1 million guards, and depending on the possession, depends on the role that each person play. So when they have to get somebody to be a go-to, they do go with Ja for the most part. But sometimes it's Dillon Brooks. Sometimes they're just looking for the open man. I don't know what we're gonna get from Jaren Jackson Jr. But I know for sure what we're gonna get from Conley, from Mitchell, from everybody else on the team, and Gobert knows his role, all that blah blah blah. So Valanciunas, I think it could be an X factor, but I'm gonna choose Memphis and not Memphis, Utah. And, my heart won't say Memphis, but Utah.
And you weren't here. Of course, me and him being here together. So we were able to watch the game the other night with the Grizzlies and Golden State, and we got especially the second half. Like we pretty much got the last 2 quarters. If it come down to coaching, we're in trouble. Because there was a 9-point swing.
Oh no, I saw that.
The 9-point swing where the coach, if he challenged the call, the game's over with at the end of regulation. But because he didn't use his challenge, the Grizzlies should have lost.
Right.
If Draymond didn't throw the ball over the side of the backboard, they should have lost.
Yeah.
So your fear is that, I think even Mark Jackson said it was 1:53, I think. And he was like, when are you going to use your challenge? So you get scared because Quinn Snyder might, I don't want to say coach circles around him. I don't want to say that because I don't want to disrespect an NBA coach. But there are times when coaches coach against each other and you can tell who is used to making in-game changes and who is strategic in their planning, right, and who's having to be there. And that challenge thing, I was like, that'll get you beat. And that'll get you beat in a game you should win. The Grizzlies should have lost that game. And based on the way the circumstances went, him not using that challenge. He used that challenge, and that game's over in regulation. Me and Michael was sitting here, and we were like, when Steph got the ball with 12 seconds, whatever, we were like, yeah, they're finna lose. We were like, they're about to lose. Or even if they don't, at this point, they're going to overtime, and they're in trouble. So, we doubted a little bit. We were wrong, and I think we both were glad to be wrong. But we pretty much thought that, yeah, they're in trouble based on the fact that he didn't use a challenge. So if we get to that type of in-game situations, I am a little worried. What you got, What? What you mean,
What?
What you mean,
No, I think Memphis in 7. That's why. Because I factor in if Donovan Mitchell's not 100%, their second best player can't beat Memphis like that. To me,
yeah.
If Donovan Mitchell's not there, if Donovan Mitchell's not 100%, Utah as a whole team, to me, can't beat how Memphis. They can't keep up with Memphis up and down. Utah's gonna try to slow the game down. They can't do that.
They move fast though. They move fast.
I think the pace will be okay.
I feel like the pace switches when Jordan Clarkson comes in. When Jordan Clarkson comes in, the pace switches. It because he's more of a mover with the ball. He's more of a let's go. And Ingles, he's more of a since he's a spot up, he can play in either style. He can play slow down or speed up because all he's gonna do is be the trailer. And then somebody kick it to him and he hit the 3. Also, I feel like what hurt Memphis, Jaren Jackson only got the last 10 games to play. So last year, we remember what he was before he tore his MCL. So, but I believe I feel like him and what's the name got that same style of play. I feel like him and Porzingis got that same style of play. And what's the name just better at it right now. Porzingis just better at it. But that's why I was thinking really seeing, because I don't know if Donovan Mitchell gonna be like Bradley Beal. Is he gonna be hobbled like that?
I see what you're saying. I mean, if he's not,
if he's hobbled like that, if he hobbled like that, I feel like Memphis got it. I feel like Memphis has him. But
that's why mine depends on if he's healthy or not. Yeah.
If he's 80% or better, then yeah, I'm taking Utah, because if Donovan Mitchell's not there, Mike Conley can't carry that team.
See, I think the thing that scares me about Utah is that they're gonna be playing to beat Memphis because of the fact that they like for Mike Conley. That usually happens when you play that team. Like Portland is trying to beat them, like for Melo. There's gonna be a little extra energy that normally isn't there because it's personal, so to speak. Regardless of why the team trades you and it sales,
because they booed them.
Everybody agreed, everything. They don't want to hear that.
Yeah, they booed him tonight, and what's name? It was crazy.
We talking about they booed Melo tonight.
Yeah, and then then what's
what happened?
What's name used to play there too? It's crazy.
I don't think nobody gonna boo Mike Conley though.
No, Utah's Memphis not. No, Memphis not gonna boo Mike Conley.
Yeah,
because he didn't leave us like.
Yeah, but he don't want.
No, we broke the team up. We broke.
Right.
Yeah.
Melo was like.
But he don't want to lose us.
Nah, he still want to lose.
Yeah,
and I mean,
he won't like. I mean,
they don't change his motivation.
He ain't gonna say it out loud. He won't be this bad. He want them to understand that y'all broke the team up too early.
I think though, even if Donovan is not 100%, like I said, because they play by committee and they win by committee, I don't think Mike Conley can beat us.
No, they can.
But the team itself, because that's how they play. And
but that's 25
they've been able to
gone too.
Huh?
That's 25 points gone too.
I mean, I agree with that, but they've been able to maintain the number one spot in the West without him.
But I also felt like they had built so much of a cushion.
I mean, I'm not saying that they lost the cushion, but they didn't lose some of it.
Because Phoenix only got so far. So far. And I just look at it like it's crazy. Nurkic used to play for Denver too. They had Nurkic.
We was just talking about that earlier.
They had Nurkic and Jokic. So that was
They made the best choice.
Huh?
They made the best choice though.
Yeah. I mean, you got to get. I mean, Nurkic wouldn't probably been what Nurkic is now if he still was in Denver. So you gotta roll with the punches. But I'm gonna go my contingency. But I'm gonna go with Utah in 6, only because I think Mitchell is gonna play just enough to get the series over with. But if he's hampered at all doing this, I have no problem with saying Memphis can take this. Now, if John and them go in there and he just take it, because he's just like, bro, I'm tired of everybody just saying we too young, and he just going there and he gonna make it a one-on-one with Mitchell. He's like, all right, bro, best man win.
Is it like I don't have anything against. I feel like John's gonna go in there and do that. I still think Utah is better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think that Utah
the hardest skill that Josh got, I'm all for. I got back on that, but the team itself around him, I don't think is good enough to beat.
The point you're making is the applies in the New York Atlanta series or the Milwaukee Miami series where the teams are even, but I'm gonna show you that I'm the best player on the court. That's where it's very hard in most cases, unless you actually are the best player on the court, to take a team that's not good enough to be really on the court with this other team and to take them past. And that's where it gets hard. It's different if the talent level is close. Like, I think that at full strength, Utah at full strength, like, as much as I love the Grizzlies and I love my team, they're not in the same league with Utah when it comes if Utah's full strength. Utah got way more firepower.
I mean, that's why I give. That's why I said 5, because off the strength of Ja, I give them a game, and he's gonna make a game or two close. But I still think that Utah will win those close games. But he go really show that I can keep a game close, but he's still probably gonna lose those, and he might get one.
Yeah, because shit, you know how it is. We in the gym, right? You got to do it in the can down and hit 3 straight. Get what happened? You get the ball about his hand. You play him. You guard him 94 feet.
Because the offense is real stagnant when they ain't Josh.
When Josh. So guess what they're gonna do? It's gonna be real stagnant. They gonna make Dylan Brooks get 40. They know he like to shoot. They're gonna make Grayson Allen get 40. Jaren Jackson, we finna see if you what people say you supposed to be. They're not finna get it, man.
I'm not 100% sold on Quinn Snyder as a coach.
Are you sold?
I understand that, but
are you sold on
because I seen him get out coached with a good team.
No. Out coached by who?
Huh?
Out coached by who?
Well, do you think Utah had a better team than Denver last year?
No.
You didn't think Utah was a better team than Denver at all? Not so that you were surprised they was up 3-1.
I was surprised they was up 3-1.
I think that was up 3-1. I was not.
I think it was the same as the Clippers series. It was everything that Denver was doing wrong. Not necessarily what Utah was doing right.
I think that if you telling me Donovan Mitchell and Jamal Murray were watching that series, I agree with you. But I think after that, everybody all the next better players on the team were off in Denver's team.
Yes, to me, Denver had 2 of the top 3 best players in that series, and that's why they end up.
That's why when the light switch clicked on, Utah was going
Jokic is better than everybody else on that team, by far.
And then when you get to the third verse, if you want to say Rudy Gobert is the third best player, all right. But then after that, the next, so then you got Mike Porter Jr. Then you probably had you could tell me either Gary Harris or
I don't count Mike Porter Jr. only because at that time he really was his was still inconsistent.
But
he played well.
When you look at the players on the team and you rank them where you think that they are, when you get to the 4th and 5th and 6th best players, them players was on them.
And they were missing players.
Yes.
Like Barton wasn't there.
That's what I'm saying. Like they
were missing players.
Now,
do I think that Utah is better this year? Yeah, I think they're better than Denver this year if they fully healthy. Then they're better than Denver this year. But and I think the bubble had something to do with it.
I about to say it wasn't no difference. They brought back the same team, both of them.
But they don't got Jamal Murray.
I'm talking about without Jamal Murray.
Yeah, they don't got Jamal Murray.
I'm about to say like. If they,
if you put them on paper,
was a higher seed than them last year, I think.
No,
I'm saying Jordan Clarkson wasn't there last year, was
he? Yeah, he was there.
I don't think he was.
Was he in Utah last year?
I think Jordan Clarkson was.
Or was he in the bubble?
I don't think so.
I think he was there last year.
I can't remember.
I don't think so.
But he's a difference maker this year.
No, I think Jordan Clarkson was there. Jordan Clarkson was there last year. He was there last year. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Then yeah.
But yeah, so who you got? You say you got Memphis and 7.
I'm gonna go with Utah and 6.
Don't change it now.
No, I said Utah and 6 earlier.
Yeah, he did.
I thought he said
he said he wanted to say Memphis.
No, I said I wanted to.
Right. Touche.
Yeah. Because I said I wanted to go Memphis at 5, but I know better.
No, I was like I want to do Memphis and 7 because I feel like what's the name is they overhyped.
Who?
Utah is overhyped.
But the longer the series go, the better. If you also think about Donovan
Mitchell. So I'm saying, if this, like Sean said, this was a 4-5 matchup. If this was Utah against Denver or Portland, I'd be like, But Memphis,
we ain't got enough yet.
I don't think we're there yet.
You do know too. The longer the series goes, like let's just say Donovan Mitchell needs. The longer the series goes, the better he's gonna get.
Yeah, because like tomorrow, I think Memphis gonna come out flat. Because they used so much energy to beat Golden State yesterday. And even though you get a day of rest, I feel like they're going to come out flat. And Utah had all this time off to rest. And Donovan Mitchell had time off to rest. And I think they're going to steamroll. So I think that this is the best game that Memphis got to make a statement. And if they don't win game 1, then I think that you are already behind the 8 ball.
I've seen Utah shoot themselves out of games as well. So I'm not 100% sold on Utah. I'm like I said,
beat the Grizzlies.
Sometimes when I look at the teams, Utah and Phoenix, the way they played this year, I'm not
sold on them.
Yeah, but
I'm not sold on them against the Clippers and Lakers.
Yeah, but I'm sold against them against Grizzlies. I love my Grizzlies.
I'm not 100%, but I'm gonna go with them only because I assume Donovan Mitchell will be 80. I'm assuming he'd be 80%, but I would not be surprised if Memphis wins the series. Just me personally.
Yeah, we was talking about the Lakers being in 8 spot instead of 7, and they were playing Utah. And I'd be like, Yeah,
but shit, I guess if you think about it though, like if you think about
zero.
so even if you take Donovan Mitchell out and you put the Grizzlies and Utah side by side, like I guess you said the best player then at that point, what would you say is Ja? Would you say is what would you say is Rudy Gobert?
Ja.
Between outside of Donovan
If
Mitchell.
you take Donovan Mitchell out,
Ja.
I would say Ja.
and then Rudy's second, right?
I would probably say I might go Conley, but probably
okay. But then the third person would be.
But definitely, if you're talking about if you're going in order, then it's Mitchell, Ja. Whether it's Conley or Gobert, it's gonna be Utah.
It's gonna be a lot of Utah before we get to Jaren Jackson. Or Valanciunas.
Or Dylan Brooks.
Like, and to be honest with you, Jaren Jackson should be the best player the second best player on the team. But right now it's Valanciunas. And then Jaren Jackson might not even be the third best player. It might be Dylan Brooks. Like you got to start looking at it. I know that he's been hurt, but what I'm saying is that
I was like, I feel like his
upside is, but his actual production doesn't equal.
Well, I don't hold that. Right now, I don't hold that against him because he's been hurt. He hasn't been able to.
I agree with that.
But we're saying
when
you start looking at it, like you're gonna get 3-4 Utah players before you get the next group.
We're talking about the reality of this series right now. We're not talking about projections.
Of the top 5, 3 of them are gonna be Utah players, and then of the rest of them guys, because I ain't even saying that because if you really want to think about it, if you go Donovan Mitchell and Ja, then you go Mike Conley and Rudy Gobert in one of them orders. You probably might even go like Jordan Clarkson. Like you're gonna have some guys that are gonna be above these Grizzlies players. Now, again, we sound like we don't love our hometown team, and we do. Just being realistic, that even if Donovan Mitchell is hurt, like Utah still has enough to beat us. Like the series might go longer than what they wanted, but like.
If you're talking about the top 10 players out of the series, Utah probably has 6 or 7 out of the top 10 of the players in that series. So,
but we ain't gonna get swept though.
No,
ain't happening. We probably don't get 2 up off of them to be honest with you. But like, when they ain't gonna sweep us.
I'm gonna pick Utah, but I wouldn't be surprised if Memphis won this series.
I'd be shocked if Memphis won.
I'm not.
I'd be sitting there like, man.
I would be shocked if Memphis won. I'd be happy.
I'd be happy though. Yeah, but I'd be shocked.
I
wouldn't be surprised.
I'd be shocked.
But it depends on it. Now, if Mitchell ain't healthy, he don't play, I wouldn't be shocked. But if he plays and he's at a good high percentage,
but I still
80 and up, and then we win, then I'm shocked.
I still be shocked because like we just said that Utah got what?
Yeah, but I give them more of a chance because if Mitchell ain't in, then I think the best player on the court is Ja.
No, I get that.
That's why. That's the only reason.
But I think that like the thing, what we were talking about, like. So if the next focus will be taking him out of the series.
Absolutely.
So then because if I'm Utah, Ja not beating me.
I mean, I agree.
Y'all gonna figure out something else to do.
I agree, but Golden State tried to do that and make him shoot, and he made 5 out of 8.
Yeah,
do I see Ja doing that?
Yes, that's the thing. You can do that for a game.
But with that much space he had, if he give him time to shoot, Ja can make 50% or 40%.
You think he getting them runners over Rudy?
Huh?
You think he getting them runners over Rudy?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it depends on the balance. Because they would pull him out.
Yeah, and because Ja, the timing on his floaters is so twitchy. You don't know when it's going up, and Rudy is slow. So if he try to take it all the way to the rim, Rudy go block that. But when you talking about just in the lane, you don't know when he go.
I do get that. I do get how important Donovan Mitchell is to that team. But I will say that I don't think he's as important in this series as he would be in the second round. Yeah, the whole team. I think
against a better team.
Yeah, I think the team Utah just has more talent. I think that they wouldn't. Me personally, unless I needed Donovan Mitchell, I wouldn't even play him. To be honest, because I think we got enough talent to get out of the first round, and I need him for whoever we playing in the second round.
I'm not 100% sold on that. We just had to agree to disagree. I'm not 100% sold outside of Donovan Mitchell that Utah could beat him like that. Because outside of Donovan Mitchell, nobody else really gets their own shot outside of Jordan Clarkson, and he can't get anybody else involved. Mike
Conley
Conley
does. Conley does.
Mike Conley is more of a facilitator right now at this point in his career. He's not more.
Yeah, but he can still get his own shot.
But they can team you.
But he's not looking to do
that.
that.
But that's the point.
They'll team you. They'll Indiana Pacers you, San Antonio you. You're right.
That's why Dad said he hate watching them because
they gonna team you to death. Like, and I think that they got enough talent to team you to death out of the first round. So now they wouldn't be able to beat the second round.
I don't think they do without Mitchell, but that's just me.
Because they don't team you to death with Mitchell. Because they got to do, they can go get a bucket. Now everybody else plays in the construct of the system. But generally speaking, most of the game is okay. I'm in the system. He the first and the second option, and then if we can't do that, we go to somebody else. Joe Ingles get a three or something like that. But like without him, they're gonna be more efficient as a team because the ball's not gonna stick. It's not gonna go to anyone. Now I get what you're saying. The Grizzlies' chances go extremely high if Donovan's not playing. But I think if you still went to Vegas, it goes from like Utah having an 85-90% chance of winning the series to maybe it goes to 75% of winning or 70% of Donovan Mitchell not playing. So I think I do think they have enough. I think they can team the Grizzlies to death enough out of the first round. Now they'll get smacked in the second round if they don't have Donovan Mitchell. Like they'll get smacked. Or the other thing gonna happen, they're gonna come out guns blazing to get the series over with. So that they can.
They're on the Clippers side.
And that's we're gonna talk about that in a second. Who next year? Oh man, so who two? This go ahead. This thing's in the Lakers. Things in the Lakers. All right. Let me tell you something. Things had a good year. Now I'll tell you this. The Lakers are rusty. LeBron's not back to being LeBron yet. And Anthony Davis is still, even though he didn't play 15 games, he's still like you like anybody that plays sports, that first month and a half of conditioning and getting into the game, you don't really feel like you're in real game shape till like halfway through the season where you done really got used to running and you don't think about it anymore. Let me tell you something about Phoenix. If you're going to win, you better get game one. Because personally, see, this is the thing about this Phoenix and the Lakers series. Remember I said earlier, these lower seeds have been playing for their life for about a month. The Lakers have been playing for their life for about a month, and they are better than Phoenix. So while they were ashy against who was that they played first? They was ashy against Golden State and still won. Like they was rusty. Let me tell you something about what they ain't gonna be when they get out here when they get Phoenix. Cause they're gonna have 4 days off. So they had treatment and a walk. They ain't been in Phoenix since Friday, I'm sure. Since yesterday. They finna go upside Phoenix head. LeBron ain't trying to lose Chris Paul. It's a nice story. We all believe that if the Lakers would have been healthy during the year, they'd been a 1, 2, 3 seed. So Phoenix would have been, I think we think that, well, most cases, some combination of the Clippers, the Lakers, Denver, Utah, something like that, and Phoenix. Phoenix is 4th in that group, 3rd, 4th, 5th, probably 4th or 5th if you're talking about Denver. Like, because Utah was going to be Utah, the Clippers were going to be the Clippers, the Lakers were going to be the Lakers. So then you're talking about Denver and Phoenix going for the 4th spot. The other thing about this series is the longer they play, the more in rhythm the Lakers are probably going to get. So as much as I want to say this is going to go 6, I think 5 is where I'm going to sit at. I think that I wouldn't be shocked if it went 6, but I think the Lakers get 1 in Phoenix. I think Lakers get 1 in Phoenix. I think they get 2 in LA. I think the possibility could be they go back to Phoenix. Phoenix gets 1, and then they go back to LA, or the Lakers get done. I don't think it's going 7. I wouldn't be surprised if it went 6, but I think it's over in 5 because the Lakers also know they need to rest because of the health. So I think they're going to come out and just say, look, we can't play with Phoenix. We can't play around because the next round is about to get serious because of where they were seated at. So it's about to get serious. So we need to get rid of them so we can kind of get LeBron a couple of days off of their ankle and we can get AD's time. But Phoenix in trouble. You remember Charles Barkley when you were watching? What was it? The Dream Team documentary, and he said, "I don't know about Angola, but I know Angola's in trouble. Phoenix in trouble. Like the Clippers dodged the Lakers and dodged them right. Phoenix ain't pay attention to the stand because they were just happy to be there. They in trouble. It's some smoke in the city. So, I mean, again, I think it'll be 5.
I'm gonna give Phoenix 6 off of the strength. Lakers in 6, but I'm gonna give Phoenix 6 games off of the strength of Chris Paul, knowing Chris Paul gonna have Phoenix ready with this time off. They ain't gonna come out, rusty or come out slow because of him. And also, just knowing LeBron has a tendency to let out the gas at some point and to pace himself through. He don't put the pedal to the metal at the beginning of the series ever. Almost it seemed like he don't never be trying to sweep nobody, which get on my nerves a lot of times. He don't never do that. So off the strength of LeBron, knowing LeBron's track record and history, he don't never try to sweep nobody. He always kind of, it's like the beginning of a boxing match. He just weighing you up and all that.
He treated the series like a game where he feel like a game in the first half.
Yeah.
Couple of games.
So I say it's like a boxing match. First round, he just filling you out. Mm-hmm. He don't try to knock you out in the first round. And that's why I give them 6 just off their strength. I think that they can win this game and win another game just because LeBron will take something off at some point, knowing that they got a full 7-game series. So it's not.
You think it's gonna be game? So you think it's gonna be game 1 if they lose game 1?
Yeah, okay. I think because Chris Paul will have them ready. Everybody said Fox is bad. Everybody said they ain't got no chance. It's in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And LeBron and them just have a tendency to come out sluggish at the beginning of every series, every single time. And every team he played for, except for those earlier years with Cleveland when he was young, since Miami, he comes out slow and sluggish in every series. So he don't have a tendency to sweep people like he's supposed to. They always usually gentlemen sweep everybody, teams that are lower seeded. Or teams that they know they're better than. The Bulls teams, the Atlanta teams, they'll generally sweep them all the time. Toronto, even though they gave Toronto 2 games one time and then just got them up out of there the next 2 games. So it's like,
I guess we're about to see how good Phoenix is.
Now, what I will say is Phoenix has, outside of Chris Paul, Phoenix has almost 0 playoff experience. But Chris Paul know how to get a team ready for the playoffs. So just off the strength of Chris Paul, I'm gonna give the series 6 games, but I'm gonna say the Lakers in 6.
You don't think they got, before you go, do you think Phoenix can actually beat them?
No.
I don't think so either.
I don't think that. Unless LeBron go out again.
Even if it went 7, I would pick the Lakers every time the series.
I don't think
Phoenix can beat them.
Not 4 times out of 7.
No, I don't either.
Like I said, unless LeBron go down again with the ankle and got to miss games, I don't see Phoenix beating. But even then, they beat the brakes off of Phoenix
without LeBron and AD won.
No, I think they had.
You think AD
had the 42.
Okay, yeah, but they beat the brakes off them without LeBron.
They can't do no with AD, and you can't do no with LeBron.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pick LeBron and AD over Book and CP every time. So they are the top 2 players in the series. If you're talking about ranking players, AD and Bron, you start with them, and then
you kind of figure out where everybody else goes.
Yeah, after that. So
you can argue about Booker, CP, depending on your preference. But the 2 top dudes. See, the difference is too though. Like when you be doing these rankings of the team, the players on the team. Sometimes when you look at like Donovan Mitchell and what were we talking about, Ja Morant. Now Donovan's better, but I think the talent level gap is not huge. I think Donovan's a little bit more experienced, but the gap in talent is not huge. Josh is young. When I look at AD and LeBron and Chris Paul and Devin Booker, there's a talent gap. Them 2 dudes at the top are definitively better. No question, no thought. And I don't, like you said, there's nobody, I don't care which one of them dudes you try to put on LeBron forever. I don't know if because now you don't really want to put Aiden on AD but you don't have no choice. But you don't want to because he finna get in foul trouble. Because he finna get buckets. He either finna get layups or he finna get free throws. And you got to make the decision of which way you want the 2 points to come. Because you saw he just did to Aiden. And Aiden know what he just did to him. And he know he about to get 4 games of it. And the longer this series goes, again, like we were talking about with Donovan Mitchell, yeah, LeBron wants to rest. But he's going to get, the longer the series goes, he's going to get, you start to get your win a little bit. And you start, you might be sore because of your ankle, but your conditioning gets better. And he already knows, like, LeBron they won the other game. He had tripled up. He didn't even really play good. Like, he played point guard, basically. Like, and I'm going to tell you something, like, so y'all think them backdoor cuts and stuff he was getting against Golden State, them dudes got rings. Like, these dudes that he been playing against Phoenix, they just happen to be there. Like, it ain't Chris Paul or Devin Booker I'm worried about. Yeah, even with Aiden, we're going to see, but I won't. Yeah, but this is his first time to play.
They can throw bodies at him.
Like, so it ain't them two dudes I'm worried about. It's everybody else that ain't been to the playoffs. They happy. Oh, we play against LeBron and the Lakers and yada.
Knowing that LeBron doesn't have to guard virtually anybody.
Nobody.
Because you got people to throw at Chris Paul.
Yep.
You got people to throw at Book outside of LeBron. So LeBron can get some rest on defense. He get rest on defense, and this series will be short.
And you know,
LeBron has the hardest time in the series when he has to put in effort against somebody he's guarding. You know, the Kawhis or the Paul Georges. Like, when he playing in a series against them, that's when it's tough because you got to actually guard them. But I don't see him having to guard Book constantly because you have Matthews, because you have Caruso, because you have other people to throw at him. Even if they can't stop Book, you got bodies to take off the pressure. You got Schroeder to put on Chris Paul. You know, you got people to guard those players that you ain't got to do it yourself. So that gives him the rest he needs on offense.
And Book's, like, the thing, I'm not saying, like, let Book score. That's not what I'm saying. But you have seen that Book getting 50 doesn't always equate to a win. So when you start to look about who you're taking away, if Book want to play one-on-one and that's what he want to do the whole game, they're going to lose by 20 every game. So, like,
you can't let CP control.
Yeah, that's what it is. And so they're going to shoot Caruso, KCP. They're going to do the same thing they did with Steph. They're going to send all them dudes to Chris Paul. And they're gonna be like, Book, if you want to play one-on-one on the wing, cool. Because that means we ain't gotta run around chase nobody. We ain't gotta do nothing else. We can let you shoot. We do like James Harden, let you shoot, dribble, pull up, and we'll beat y'all about 15. So it's controlling Chris Paul. If you can keep Chris Paul in pocket, then they're gonna get swept. Like, so what you thinking, Sheed? That's how you feeling? Yeah, kicking me in everything.
Probably looking at this, it's probably gonna be. I probably pick the Lakers and probably Lakers in 6.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. I don't believe
Lakers in 6 only because as much as if you play, you get more loose and everything like that, the chances of re-injury is high as well too. So re-aggravating what you don't want to is also a possibility. LeBron can reactivate. Like in the last game, he reactivated it, even though it was minor, he still reactivated. So the chance of that is higher. And when you have somebody like AD can go out.
AD getting 10 fake injuries this series.
AD could get his hand jammed and he out 3 games because he got a jammed finger.
He gonna get 10 fake injuries. He gonna twist the ankle 18 different times. That's fake. That's
just what AD does. So it's like,
that's a clumsy dude.
As much as I count on the Lakers, AD injury history is terrible. Yeah. And honestly, in the past 2 years, LeBron's ain't been clean. So so it's like, but I still got more.
Definitely, yeah. LeBron is definitely a what's the name? He a Ford F-150 with 300,000 miles on it. Like, yeah, he getting up there.
So I don't put no, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna take the experience of LeBron don't lose in the first round. He just don't lose in the first round. It is what it is. And Aiden's going to grow up this series. It's just gonna be a painful growth. He's gonna grow up this series because this is gonna make him the 20-10 guy that we want him to be after this series, because he's going to take so much from what AD is going to do. AD already gave him 42. Now he's going to see AD probably 5 or 6 games of consistently getting 25. If he get 142-point game on you, you was like, hey, man, I chuck it up. I played him one night. Hey, man, he just got the best of me. But if you play somebody 5, 6, 7 games and he get the best of you,
he averaged 30. He averaged
35 or 30, that humbles you. DeAndre A was the number 1 pick. So was AD.
Yeah, right. So was AD.
So it's like, and then AD got work. it wasn't like AD didn't get worked his first couple of years in the league. He gets stuff to him too. He had to learn. You got to learn. So, and
Timmy humbled him too.
the thing I will give them though, I could tell. I feel like you can intimidate Utah. I don't think you can intimidate Phoenix. I feel like Phoenix is tougher than Utah.
I mean, I agree. I think that's off the strength of Chris Paul.
I think Chris Paul and Monty Williams, having both of them, and then having Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder, even say that Jay Crowder he's a solid vet.
Yeah.
So, and plus he been in the trenches with LeBron.
Yeah, he's the one that's gonna guard LeBron.
So he know exactly how to get.
Well, not necessarily like LeBron. I mean, like because LeBron right now ain't LeBron.
Well, yeah, if that's the case,
but he just know he know how to play playoff basketball as well, and CP do as well too. That's why I give them 2 games off of that. But when you got the 2 best players on your team, it's kind of hard, barring injury. Once you got the 2 best players on your team, it's kind of hard to pick
to overcome the
thing to win, especially when CP is only 6 feet. Now, if CP was 6'3" and Book was the size he is and CP was 6'3", then I might have a different thing.
And also, if this was, I won't even say New Orleans CP, but if this was 2012 CP,
if this Clippers,
then I would be like,
first year Clippers CP, and he's still young, then I'm like, this is a different ball game. This CP is playing more with his mind than his body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more of a he's not gonna he know what Braun want to do. He know what Braun want to do.
You know what I'm saying? He gonna be prepared for Braun.
He know exactly what
he wants something you can do.
It's just the fact that I feel like Phoenix is a year or two too early, just like how I felt Golden State was a year too early when they won their first title. I feel like that was a year early. I feel like Phoenix is a year early. So this overachievement that they have is they gonna learn very quickly. It's not about seeding when it comes to the playoffs. Yeah. It's about matchups.
I feel like
matchups.
So I agree. I feel like Phoenix is a year or two too early, and Chris Paul is a year or two too old.
And like I said, it's not about seeding when it comes to the playoffs. It's about matchups. It don't matter what seed you are, unless you just now. If you the 72-10 Bulls, it don't matter. Everybody that you played was getting smacked. But at the same time, sometimes Indiana did push them to 7. Yeah. Indiana still pushed them to 7. So it's not like it's a clear cut. Like that. But
I mean, they matched up well.
Huh?
They matched up well.
It's all about the matchup. And in this matchup, DeAndre Ayton wants to get where AD's at. AD's going to show Ayton why I'm AD. Mm-hmm. And that lesson is either going to humble DeAndre to work on his game, or it's going to crush his spirit. It's only going to be one or two. But I feel like it's going to humble his game because CP ain't going to let him crush his spirit. CP ain't going to let AD like manhandle him.
I see CP getting a minimum of 3 Texas series.
I feel like he would go up to 8 if AD hit a couple buckets on him. I wholeheartedly would see CP go up to Aiden and hit him in the chest one time. He'd be like, bro, you better man up. You better go out here. You better go play against him. Because LeBron gonna do what LeBron do. It's the others. So I'm gonna take the Lakers in 6 only because it's the matchup of Aiden and AD. Well, and this is also barring if AD don't sit out there and shoot jumpers all day. Because he has a tendency to stay on the perimeter too much. Mm-hmm. This is not one of them series where you stay on perimeter. You go down low and you make Aiden foul you. Go to the free throw line. You shoot 80% from the free throw line. Go to the free throw line. AD's supposed to average 20, 27, 27.
I think he just, of course he's been hurt, but I think he's just been coasting through the regular season. I think him and LeBron also just been coasting a bit because they didn't get no off season. So they tried to, even though I feel like the injuries are probably legit. And I think like LeBron's injury is legit. I just think that he was going to take his time with his injury.
Yeah, but I'd rather him take his time anyway because LeBron's whole thing is I just got to make the playoffs. I don't care what seed. I just got to make it. So long as I don't fall out.
This is the lowest seed LeBron has been since he's been in the playoffs, I feel like.
Yeah, he never finished lower than 4.
I don't think he ever been lower than 4.
Yeah, I don't think he finished lower than 4. So,
Yeah.
but in that retrospect, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Lakers in 6 as well. Flipping to the 3-6 matchup, we just saw that game earlier today. We got Denver versus Portland, and we see Jokic is up there for MVP and everything like that. Some people feel Dame should have been in the finalists. I understand that.
I do too.
I understand that perspective as well. But once we go into this 3-6 matchup, by this time we already saw that Denver has lost the first game, Portland won. So now we're going into thinking of how the rest of the series is gonna go. So how y'all think the 3-6 matchup with Portland and Denver is gonna go? But who y'all got winning the series?
I'm gonna go Portland in 6.
Yeah, I think Portland won tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think Portland might get one more game. I think Denver gonna win in 6. I think Denver got more talent. Like I know Jokic is better than Nurkic. I think like if you want to say that, I think by committee, the guys coming off the bench and everything else gonna be able to equal out with CJ. And then I think like
Dame played 67 games after 72, so you missed 5 games.
And I think well, I mean, tonight showed you that when Portland is clicking on all cylinders, like they can be very good. But I don't know how many more times they're gonna do that this series. Like so, I think Denver has more talent throughout the team.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Denver in 6.
You think Denver? Okay.
Yeah, I think Denver in 6.
I think they since they ain't got no answer for Dame, that's gonna kill them.
Well, I mean, I understand that answer for Dame, but I don't think.
Because you can't keep putting that white bone. Yeah, they gotta stop that.
No, I mean, but I think like
and Jokic can't keep going on the screen, but he can't go over.
They probably put Monte Morris on him now.
That's why.
But I don't know what they're gonna do. Like I don't know what Portland gonna do with Jokic. Like I think that tonight was an aberration. And then I think
they have a better chance at Jokic with Nurkic than I don't know who the hell they gonna put on Dame.
And then I don't know, like I don't think they got anybody like I guess when you look at the wings, Michael Porter Jr. got everything he wanted tonight.
But so did Melo.
Yeah, but I don't think Melo gonna sustain it over the rest of the series. Yeah, I think like if I had to guess, like Michael Porter Jr. they got nobody.
I guess between Melo and between Powell tonight, you get that split that becomes, I guess.
But to me, the same thing with Powell. Powell is hot today, cold tomorrow.
I'm saying between him and Melo together is what I'm saying.
I think that
nullify Michael Porter Jr. Unless Michael Porter Jr. go 40, and then I think that those two.
I think if Dame is as good as you say he is, or you think he is, they should win this series.
Like I said, he was in my MVP race.
Right.
But now, if you would have told me CP over Dame, then I'd been like, I get that. But Steph over Dame, it was the hype for Steph. It was just the hype. And everybody just loves Steph, but so he'll have the built-in hype. But I think Dame played better than him consistently this season. Outside of the what April did, where he broke like whatever how many threes, he hit like 80-some threes in that month or something like that. Like it was a crazy month. But that shot him into it.
But I don't think Dame had like when you saying like it was I don't necessarily agree with that. I think that even in a couple of months where Steph was shooting what they would consider career lows, he was like he would be career highs for 90% of the league. I get that. I think they even said, I think it was even one of them where they were saying he was shooting on his average of 42 or something. He was shooting 42 and some change.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's shooting 42% for 3.
So like Steph averaged 32, 6 and 5, and Dame averaged 29, 8 and 4.
So I mean, to me, it's not a big disparity.
No, they're not that much different. But Dame is not only in the playoffs, but before.
But I think that's
before CJ got hurt, he was in top 4.
But that goes back to the point. I think it's the team is better. I don't think that's solely. I think it's just because their team is better. Because if Clay was there, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I think that I think Portland is better because if
Clay was there, Golden State roster would have been clearly better than Portland.
That's what I'm saying, and I don't even think.
So I'm not saying that Portland's roster isn't better, but from the being in the top 4 seed to not being in the playoffs better, I don't think that they were that much better.
But I'm saying, but I think they like. I think that's what I'm saying. Like I know you may not think that they are, but the results
roster through and through.
But I think, the results show that they are.
But at the same time, like I say, I would say that if CJ played the whole season, but he missed a third of the season.
But again, that goes.
Like we saw the slide that the Lakers took once LeBron. Now I'm not equating CJ to I ain't saying that, but like LeBron missing 20 games, they slid from second or third in the West to in the play.
This goes back to like when you were talking. She was asking about Utah. Utah bit themselves enough of a cushion to where when the fall is precipitous.
Right.
So Portland got off to such a good start that once you start to have juggling around, they failed, but they didn't fall out. Golden State from the start was against the grain. So like I'm saying, like your biggest point is that CJ missed a quarter of the season. My point is that they still had him for 50 games though.
Yeah,
like Steph the entire year, it was him or bust the whole year. It hadn't been Dame or bust the whole year. There have been moments in the year where it was him or bust, but not the whole year. For Steph's numbers are on par with Dame, who had a better team.
Well, yeah.
And so the reason why they say is because he had to do more with less. And that's usually like a lot of, in some cases, when you get to like the third or fourth guy on the MVP ballot is the first 2 guys are usually guys who are first seed, second seed that are fighting for that out. Like after that is who has the hardest job. And I do get your point of saying that when he had moments where CJ was out and Nurkic was out, that made him have to do more. I don't disagree with that part. I think the fact that he still though at some point had those guys that did make his job easier in comparison to what Steph had to deal with. Because like we said before, like that, like because like I'm saying, like if Clay was there this year, like you said, when we had a conversation, because I think they'd be in top 5 seed
for sure.
Yeah, and so I think that's I think that's the difference in the disparity of the MVP conversation was because of the fact that Steph had to do more with less. I know, like you're gonna have some guys whose numbers are comparable and everything else. But I think like just as a team fit and it's just a better team, I think Portland was just a better team.
I definitely think they was a better team.
And I think that's why like I think that Dame was able to do what he did not because of who he played with, but like CJ's gonna take some people off of him. I think Steph had to do it in spite of who he was playing with. Like Wilkins got 20 because he was playing with Steph, not because
he averaged on his career, so that's not true.
Yeah, but no,
he get that regardless. The Wilkins get 20 regardless.
Wilkins got that based on who he playing with. Like the defense is Wilkins got to play 1-on-1.
Yeah, but I mean, when did that ever change?
Because of to me, it's like you average like your 20 can be different. Like Wiggins got his 20 points. He got to play 1-on-1. Like, cause the defense was curious. The defense said if Wiggins get 30, then he get 30.
Okay.
Like it's.
But I mean, it hasn't always been.
No, I think in Minnesota the offense ran through. The offense ran through him. I think Towns in Minnesota.
I think then it was still Wiggins can get 30. We can't let.
No, I think that it was just like they were on the scouting report. Those were players that they were like, okay.
So you think Wiggins went on the scouting report?
I put it to you like this. I think in Minnesota, it was the sense that these were the 2 guys that we got key in on because these are the guys the shot gonna come from. In Golden State, it's the other guys can beat us. If Wiggins get 30 now, he get 30. It's different in the way that they're viewed on the scouting report. Because like Charles was saying that, and Kenan was saying they were like, I come into the series, Steph not gonna beat me. Mm-hmm. So if Wiggins can average 40, cool, because we're gonna give him the opportunity to get there. So
I guess I see it similar. I see Steph similar this year to Bradley Beal last year, to where his 33 whatever didn't equal the win.
So no, I disagree because Bradley, they were so far out of
But I mean, yeah. But he didn't have another player on his team that averaged 20.
Okay, but I
Not
get
even close.
But that's not
even close.
But I again, I think that like.
But the same as this year, he had another player that averaged a triple double, but his 32 or whatever he had still didn't equal to winning because they still barely got into the playoff. The same with Steph, in my opinion.
No, but his player that to me though, I get the situation, but those like Wiggins is not either one of them dudes.
No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah, so like my expectation, we all expected Washington.
But if Wiggins was there, do you think they would have been in the play-in if he wasn't there?
To be honest, I think that if Wiggins wasn't there, that would have given a more of a role for one of them other two guys, Poole or what's the other dude's name?
Lee.
I think by committee, they would have still averaged out the same. I think it would have been the same. I think that he just happened to be the guy at that time that was able to get. He was the guy that was in that slot based on who's on the team. I think he was probably. I'll give you that he was probably the most. Well, I was going to say the most skilled of the guys that remain, but I guess I don't know because Poole and I can't remember other than that, they showed me some more than what I thought they had. But I think that he was just the dude that could get his own shot, and so they had to go with somebody. Draymond not gonna shoot. The other guys are shooters, so he just the other guy that got the shot. But I think that like to be honest, by committee, to be honest, I think that like Steph was averaging 32. I think if he would have averaged 35, he would have averaged 35, 37. I mean, like I'm not saying average 50 points, but what I'm saying is that I think they would have been right around where they were, regardless of like Wiggins to me don't sway it one way or another for me like that. I think that they'd be right where they were. They was the they were the 8 seed, right? The 7 seed, 8 seed. They were the 7 seed, one. And then the Lakers beat them and got the 7 seed, and then they had to go to 7. Okay, and then they were 8. So I think they would have been 7, 8, 9. I think they'd have been the play-in. I don't think that changes. I think they'd have been the play-in. Even if they were 10, like I think they would have been good enough to be in the play-in.
That's what what's name was last year.
Who?
Washington.
No, but I guess my point is that I don't think that Wiggins don't sway it for me in the sense that like you saying he's Bradley Beal from last year. I was like, okay, like I mean in the sense. Yeah, I'm saying, but I don't. But you say he didn't have a 20-point score, and I'm saying I don't. Wiggins to me was just the other guy on the team. I think he's just the guy that got to take the amount of shots.
I mean, maybe. So I don't think either. Steph didn't prove to me this year that he not only can carry a team, but he influences winning like that. Even though they had a winning record with him playing.
So, but I think that's the point. Like you look at it like he had just dudes on his team this year, and they were one shot away from being in the playoffs.
I mean, yeah, I get that.
Because even when you said where Bradley Beal was, they weren't they eliminated first game?
What?
Like for the play-in? Because were they in the play-in?
No, they didn't play in. They didn't play off.
No, last year.
No, they weren't then. No.
So
they didn't get invited to the boat.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is that
they were out of it.
Yeah, so I think that like
I'm saying then it wasn't did they do 7, 8, 9, 10?
Yeah, they did play in last year. They did in the bubble. They did do that. 22 10 got invited.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So Washington had to be farther out than to not be invited.
I can't remember what it was. But I think the East didn't get that many teams or something. I think
you said what shit?
Washington was invited.
Oh, okay.
He said what?
He said they was invited.
Who? Washington was? Oh, okay.
So I mean, I just think that overall, like
they really didn't have a chance, but they got invited.
Yeah, I just think that like I agree with you that Steph and Dame number are comparable. That's not my disagreement. I think that Portland was better enough to where Dame had, like you said, he had a better team, and so I think that.
Now I'm not saying that if Dame is in the same situation as Steph, whether or not he makes the playoff. Now I'm not saying that, or I'm not. I do think that Dame influences winning more than Steph overall. I think Steph has always had the better organization, the better coaches, the better team, all that till this year, these last 2 years. I think that's always been the case, but he's always been able to win by committee, but be that guy, to be the best player. And I'm not saying that Dame is like that much better than Steph influence. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that to be in the MVP conversation.
But I don't think anybody
I don't like that.
But I don't who step in the MVP conversation. I guess again, I don't know if my numbers are comparable to somebody else who you believe should be in the conversation, who has a better team, and I'm one shot away from being in the playoffs. How do you?
When was the last time somebody was in the MVP conversation that was that close to not being in the playoffs or not?
I also don't think that. I mean, each circumstance situation is different.
I mean, I agree with that.
And so, but I don't think anybody said that Dame was not in the everybody he was in the MVP conversation. He got hurt. They just
I'm talking about the what's the name finals. But I'm saying he missed 5 games.
But I guess what I'm saying is
Steph missed 10 and didn't get out of it.
And because of again, I guess the conversation comes back to again everybody he did it on a better team. So I guess if you want to say that you want to reward winning or his record,
but they always have. They always rewarded winning.
No, not necessarily because how Westbrook got the MVP because he had every triple double.
Yeah.
But realistically, still though, they were what a seed
6.
Yeah, so I mean, he did something that.
But they was clearly in the playoffs. What I'm saying.
You said what? They
was clearly in the playoffs.
I get that point. I guess what I'm saying is that Steph and them had no business being anywhere where they were. I think that's the point that people were making. They shouldn't have been even at a point where they could play into the tournament.
I don't think that. I think they had enough talent on the team to maybe get there. I think that.
I think if we were talking
because when I'm looking at teams that they are comparable to, Memphis, and talking below them with Sacramento. I think Memphis is better. Constructed right now, I think Memphis is better than them. So who is it? Portland, Memphis. Who the other team? It wasn't San Antonio. Who's the other team? No, it wasn't Portland.
No, it's Portland is what 6.
Yeah,
there's a 17. I don't know who the 7 seed is. The Lakers. So the Lakers don't really count. Yeah,
I'm counting anything below them.
So I definitely believe Portland. I definitely believe Portland and the Grizzlies are better than Golden State.
I don't think Grizzlies are better. I think they had a better game, but I don't think they were better.
Well, you don't think they're better? After you do Steph, and I guess if you want to count Draymond, the player that all the best. Well, I guess if you want, you count Andrew Wiggins. But I'm thinking I definitely think that.
Yeah,
when you're gonna play the player,
it was the same as the game to me. It was picked between the two.
And so I think I think balance when you get to Valanciunas, when you get to James Jackson Jr., when you get to Dylan Brooks, when you get to somebody and Ja, I think when you look at out of the top 5, if you talk about the top 5 players,
I just don't think that I ain't got no problem with Steph being in the MVP. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he should have been over a couple other players. Is what I'm saying.
Well, I guess what I'm saying. I think because you keyed in on that.
Yeah, that's because we were talking about the series, but
and I think that their numbers are comparable, and I feel
to me it was Jokic, Embiid, CP3, Dame, then Steph. That's what I thought it was.
Well, I guess
after this whole season,
I guess the thing for me is I guess for me, Dame and Steph to me are washed because Dame had a better team, Steph had a worse team, and the numbers are comparable. Steph had to do more with less. Now, I'm not saying that Dame should not have gotten MVP consideration because I do think, especially at the time, the point where they were at the time. I think they were third, fourth seed in the West at that time. So I had no problem that had they remained it. Yeah. And so, and I think because the equivalent would be, to your point, they lose CJ, but they stay where they are. See, when CJ went out, they dropped.
Yeah, they dropped on that.
And so when Steph was playing without his guy the whole year, they still were a game away from being playing. What I'm saying is that if you gotta keep your team somewhere in that spot. So when they
never dropped out the playoff.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. But you're grading them against where they were where were they when CJ went out, and where are they when he came back? And if you're telling me they were the 2 or 3 seed at the time,
they were 4th when he left, and they were 7th when he came back.
So they dropped 3 spots,
and then went back up to 6.
And so what I'm saying is that was Dame. That like they said with LeBron, when AD went out, that was his time to claim the MVP because he needed to keep them afloat. Right? And so that's what I'm saying. When I looked at where Steph was able to pull his team and where Dame, they failed, that closes the gap a little bit in that conversation for me. Now, whether you put them 1-4 and 1-5, I get it, just put on the list. But she's sorry we hijacked that, but like realistically,
But I mean, I got Portland in the series though.
I got Denver in 6. So what's the next one?
The last one is Dallas and the Clippers.
That's the pick me.
So I did not. So full disclosure, I did not see the game day. I do know Dallas won. To be honest with you, the Clippers remind me of like the Phoenix team with Steve Nash and them on there. They remind me of them Dallas teams, them early Dirk teams with Steve Nash or Dirk, and like when they had. I think that I don't know if Jay Terry's on them teams or not, but when they had with Michael Finley and them. They just missing something. I don't know what it is. Like on paper, they have the Clippers, them CP3 Clippers team. They got everything. They missing something. Maybe they got everything, but they ain't got something. And they'll probably beat Dallas. Like I mean, just because at some point, Kawhi and Paul George are 2 of the 3 best players on the floor. So Porzingis, I don't know if he's gonna be healthy the whole series. And if it's just Luka 1-on-1 with them 2, they're going to lose. Dallas will lose. If I had to bet on Porzingis being healthy the whole series, I can't. So I'll probably take the Clippers in 6. But I don't feel great about it. Because if they do what they did tonight, they're going to be down 0-2. And
man, Luka got everything he wanted tonight.
So
they did that last year.
Now, I'm going to tell you this too, though. I guarantee game 2, Paul George is probably going to start on him the entire game.
So the like I say, you didn't watch the game. The thing was, they did that, but the problem with the Clippers is the same thing that Shaq and Chuck always complain about. They switched everything.
That's what I'm saying.
So even though Kawhi was on them or Paul Jordan on them,
they switched on the pick and roll. I don't think they're gonna for game 2. I don't think they're gonna do that.
It might not.
I think what they're gonna do is that instead
it's hard for them not to switch when him and Porzingis are in the pick and roll.
No, I get that. I think what they're gonna do is they're gonna trap that and make Luka get a ball up. And if Porzingis make that shot, Porzingis make that shot. I think what they're going to do is they'll pull the big up, maybe free throw line-ish, so he can stop him from driving and get a layup. And if he's make that shot, he just make that shot.
The issues with that is why they kept on switching was because if you trap that and he gets it to Porzingis and he drives out to be open, they got so many shooters. That was the point. Hardaway shot 75% from 3 today. Like, now do I say that they go do that all year? But they've been doing it all year.
I get it, but I think
last 2 years.
But I think the thing is like the same thing we were talking about Chris Paul. Like if Devin Booker played 1-on-1, that's not great for the team.
Right.
I think that you have to say like Luka's the engine for the team, and if we get him out of sorts,
out of rhythm. They're gonna need him eventually.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be in rhythm.
Yes, and so what I'm saying is that you got to get the ball out of his hands. You got to say Porzingis, you can get 50. Like we have to see what y'all look like when you get 30. Well, Tim Hardaway, how about that? Like you gonna get all the shots tonight.
Now, I mean, I'm not saying that they won't be the game game 2.
So I think
if they were shooting, if they had wide open threes today and they were making all of them, if you give them even more wide open threes.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is
so what they did when they started to kind of do that a little bit in the second half, that's when they brought in Brunson, and he was handling the ball, and Luka was pick and rolling with Luka.
Yeah, no.
And then that's when they caused major fits for so the Clippers. It's hard for them to do something with Luka. Now, yes, Luka will have to average 30 and triple double.
Well, it's hard because like he's a big guard. Yeah. So it throws that lineup off because normally what happens is Rondo can't guard him. And they put back Pat Bev on him and try to ball like they did last year. But Dallas was ready for that. As soon as he did that, he put him in the post. Yep. Got 2 fouls in 3 minutes. What they do is you pass the ball up and you go post him up. Yeah, post him up. He can't do nothing with him in the post. Now, yeah, outside you can ball him because Pat Bev be all up in him. But as soon as he gave it away and reposted and got it back, Pat Bev, it was mouse in the house and it was barbecue chicken. So that's how they got Pat Bev out there quick. And then you had to change the whole. Now Clippers' whole kind of rotation was shot because
One nobody else gonna be able to do nothing with. They put Morris on him again. They put Red Jackson on him again. But every time they would run that pick and roll with Porzingis and Zubac come out, so you step back, look at it every time. Like it wasn't that was the game plan. They just killed them from the whole game. They got there every play they wanted. Every time they had to stop switching with Zubac. Every time they tried to go to Marcus Morris being on Porzingis and being in the pick and roll and all that, but then he just drive around Morris and then slow Euro and then dish it out for a wide open three. It was just like, oh, they got to answer for everything. So unless Porzingis get hurt again, or they don't make any threes, which they shot crazy threes. They shot like 18 threes, made like 18 threes. So I don't think they could do that. Don't get me wrong. And I don't think that the Clippers ain't gonna beat them. They still can, but I do think it's a 7-game series this time because it would have been a 7-game series in the bubble if Porzingis didn't get hurt. So I think this 7-game pick 'em. I want Dallas to win. I'm just tired of the Clippers, man. I'm just tired of it. I want to see a Clippers-Lakers matchup, but I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to root for the Clippers to do anything. It's something about that. Like I said, it's something about I don't. I love them when Chris Paul was there, of course. I want them to win then, but there's something about them now and the culture there that I don't like. I don't like the Clippers team, even though I like some of the players. I don't like the team. I mean, I guess they kind of like the villains of the league, but I got Dallas in 7. That's what I'm gonna go with. What you got, Sheed? Well, what you got, Charles? What did you got?
No, that's what I got. I think
you said the Clippers.
I mean, I don't feel great about it. Like, but I just don't.
This is. I'm making that choice on if Porzingis is healthy. Though.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I don't think if I had to bet my money on it, he ain't gonna be healthy. And even if he is, I don't know what I'm gonna get from Porzingis. Like another one of them dudes that like.
Snipers really good.
Yeah, but you think he's gonna do that 4 more times, 3 more times?
If he's healthy.
You think
they ain't got no answer for him.
Yeah.
They ain't got nobody put on him. It's a KD situation where Zubac can't go on him. And you put him in pick and roll, and whoever else, it was a couple times where they switched, and Reggie Jackson was on the post, or Pat Bev was down there because they had switched with Luka. And now,
I mean, I get that Dallas got a few mismatches.
Yeah,
there. Like
the Clippers just don't match up well with that. Mm-hmm. It's a matchup nightmare for them.
Yeah.
So that's with Porzingis. It's similar to. That's why I think that Lakers have a good chance to get them, because to me it's a mismatch too. But it's AD the same way as Porzingis and LeBron and Luka, the same thing. But Luka will kill you with that step back three, even though he's not a great 3-point shooter. When he gets that in rhythm,
see, that's the other part.
That makes it. Now, do I think he gonna do that the whole series? Probably not.
That's the other thing for me. Like,
but
Luka can't shoot.
Yeah.
So, but tonight made him feel like he could. And what's gonna happen is in game 2, he's gonna be doing that step back again. I don't think that step back gonna be fouled.
I would say that would work if he couldn't get in the lane as easy as he did.
No,
he get in the lane so easy and get whatever he wanted. It was he was taking the 3-point. He was taking the step back by choice. It's just because he wanted.
So what they're gonna do now, like this second time, like I hadn't seen the game, so it sounded like they switched the pick and rolls, and what they're gonna do now is they're just gonna go under. Like I'm saying
that's what happened with Zubac. They went under, and like I say, he would just step back.
But you say he was on a step back. I think that.
That's just how
I'm thinking that if I had to bet money, I don't think Luka can make them shot 4 games or 4 games in series. Like,
I agree.
And so, like at that point, then you're like, okay, well, if you want that step back, what we're gonna do is we're gonna literally let you get that step back all night. We ain't helping out the wings.
I think the thing we have to not let Luka do is drive.
Yeah, no, you let him play one. You say, all right, PG and Kawhi, this is who y'all going tonight.
You have to make 10 threes.
Yes, he gonna have to. And I'm going under the screen every time.
Because what kills you is when you drive and you kick it.
Yeah, that's exactly what.
And they kill you with the 3.
So I'm not helping out the shooters. We're gonna stay home. Whoever's going Luka, you got him 1-on-1. Right. And unless the big helps and he might get a lob to somebody, but the 2 points not hurt. But like I'm going under the screen, so if he want to shoot that 3, he gonna have to make 10 threes. Yep. Then if he make 10 threes, we'll have a conversation. But other than that, we're not. So we're not gonna do that again. And I feel like he's gonna be 3 for 10 shooting threes, and they're gonna lose by 12.
Maybe.
So, and I think that what's gonna happen is I think the Clippers are just outlasting. To be honest with you, I think they're a better team. You said you don't got I don't think that Ibaka can guard Porzingis per se, but I think like laterally, he's the best big option to move with him. I'm not saying he can't guard him, but if he's just getting away, So, but I got Clippers in 6.
When they did that, I think they put him in. But when they did that, like I said, Luka was just driving whatever.
Yeah,
because
I'm not
even though
because Porzingis will pull Ibaka out of the paint, right? So.
That's what it kind of. That's why he was able to get there because he pulled Zubac.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Porzingis for the Luka is a matchup nightmare because
that's why they
it allows
the
guards to get to the line.
That's why they lost last year because Porzingis got hurt. He's the key factor.
Yeah,
it's not Luka. It's what Porzingis does for the team to open them up.
Yeah, he pulls the big guy line.
Yeah. So I don't see them running to a matchup until they play the Lakers or until they play Denver or somebody. If that I think Denver and the Lakers will play if they want. So they wouldn't even get them. They would get the Utah or the Grizzlies, and that's a matchup nightmare for either one of them two teams against Dallas too. Because the same thing, they can pull Gobert out here, and Utah won't be able to do nothing with Luka going to the lane. And same with Valanciunas, they can pull him out here if Memphis win this series, and Memphis ain't gonna be able to do nothing with Luka going to the lane too. So it's gonna be the same thing. It won't be until the Lakers because AD can match up. And same with Yoke can match up better, even though he slows on the way. He's can stretch and play out and in and out and in and all that. So I think Denver and the Lakers match up better with that. But they want to see them to the West Coast Finals. So who you got?
Probably got Dallas in 7.
Huh?
Probably got Dallas in 7.
Yeah, like I say, it's all on Porzingis not twisting the ankle or tearing something, or getting a bruised knee or broken something.
Now don't get me wrong. I'm secretly rooting for Dallas. Like I prefer Dallas to win. However,
it's must be a skip.
Yeah, but I think more than anything, I just don't. So I just feel like Dallas, while they have extreme mismatches, they have like extreme flaws too. Like Luka hit all his shots tonight, but he really can't shoot. And so if you just make him if you play him like if they play Westbrook, so you say like, look, we're gonna give you these shots. Now if you can keep making them over 4 games, then cool. But we're gonna keep giving you these shots. We ain't helping out nobody else.
My philosophy would be to, like I said, make him shoot, or if he tries to drive foul, because he'll pour a free throw shoot. So foul send him to the free throw. He can shoot 20 free throws for all I care. He'll pour free throw shoot.
Like you said,
probably will be 50%. So he might make 10.
They run that pick and roll. You run it. You run under. You just be like, all right, if you want that. But what you also do is you angle them too. So because they run how pick and roll at the top of the key, and you shooting straight on through. That's the other part of it. You're gonna have to.
They ain't pushing him.
Yeah, you're gonna basically have to let the guy push him to a side, and he can get the shot under the pick and roll. But you just can't let them. Anybody come down the court, you let them line up in the middle of the court.
They kind of was just playing lazy.
Yeah, they just didn't play hard.
Yeah, because even if you switch, you got to get up on Luka.
That's what I'm saying. I think it'll be a different sense of urgency on defense for the Clippers.
Yeah, for sure.
They'll play desperate on the next game.
Yeah, for sure.
And so that's why I think that then you're like, okay, because they're at home and lost.
Yeah.
So you can't go down.
It literally looked like Dallas was home.
You can't go 0-2. You don't want to go 0-2 at home, then win 2 in a row. Yeah. So I definitely think the Clippers, it'll be a whole different game. They're gonna be sitting in his lap. Yeah. And then they're gonna make him shoot. And I think that they're gonna be like, when it works, they're gonna be like, all right, we can continue to do it. Because even if he hit 10 threes, you trying to say even if he get 50 himself, that don't necessarily constitute to them winning. Because he's not facilitating getting everybody else involved.
Yeah, it's him getting people involved.
Yeah,
that's how he influences.
Yeah, so I think that you just make him a one-on-one player, and he deal with everything else.
Because like I said, the team hit 18 or 19 threes.
Yeah, you had games like that where them, you just gonna lose.
Yeah. But they was like that. They was topping 3-point percent last year. They had 3 points last year. But I thought them trading Seth.
Well, they get them up too.
Yeah, I thought them trading Seth was gonna make that go. But Holloway and what's the name they were shooting today. They didn't, and Bronson that boy killing.
And I tell you, killing. I would definitely be like,
he's the one that came in clutch.
I don't think that Tim Hardaway can keep that up for 4 games.
I don't either. But I think
he's freaking. I mean, I get you. He can get hot.
Yeah,
but I don't think
and
he
if
keep it over
you
10
and coach telling them, hey, I need you to shoot at least 6. It don't matter. They know that we got to green light to shoot them just as soon as we get it. So Carlisle telling them, hey, get them up. If Luka passed to you in the corner, get it up. And they would run this motion, so they would do Porzingis picking with Luka, and Luka would drive. What they would do is they would put 2 on. They would overload one side and have one in the corner and one. So when Luka went around whoever that was, one of them 2 had to help. Either top of the wing or in the corner. One of them had to help. And if one helped, he would look off the other one and pass to the other. Or because a lot of times the guy in the corner would help, and then that wing one would drop down because he think, oh, Luka about to pass to the corner because his man is can. Luka will look him off and pass to the wing, is wide open 3. Right now, doing the same time, look the other way and pass to the corner and hit the wide open 3. And it's just like you had the Clippers running around like chickens with the head cut off. Because they didn't know you can't guard it. And then when you think you go guard, and then he'll slow 2-step and then lay it up. And you be like, okay, all right. So that's how they ran it the whole game. That was their thing the whole game. And the Clippers couldn't stop it for nothing. And then once Luka would get a break, Bronson would come in and do the same thing. And get a wide, because he had this he was sort of like Ja, where he get in the lane, but then he'll stutter. And then he'll be at the rim, even though he did start. It's them Villanova guards. They just know how to get to the hole. Yeah. But so she said 2007.
Yeah, that's why
I don't want them to get the Clippers up out of here just because of Skip. Really, I ain't really got nothing against the Clippers. It's just I want them to get them up out of there. I'm tired of them. Tired of talking about the Clippers. I feel like they're the most overachieving, underachieving team in the league.
Yeah, I'm thinking Dallas. I
mean, watch they beat them though. Watch they blow them out the next 3 games. But.
Yeah, I just don't know what to expect all the time with either team.
Dallas' only problem is they're terrible defensively. When it comes to the paint, they good on the wings because Richardson, that was a good trade getting Richardson and Hardaway. They good defensively on the wing, but Porzingis is not great defensively inside. And Luka is terrible defensively. So Paul George is off for most of the first half, and even though Kawhi was killing in the first half, Paul George was kind of off, and then he came in the second half. He started killing in, so he made sure that he wasn't looking like Pandemic P in the second half. But they weren't. Dallas' whole thing, they can't keep a lead because they suck defensively. That's the whole thing. But they can outscore you pretty much. And so you can't stop them. They can't stop you, but they gonna outscore you because theirs gonna be all 3s. There's not gonna be any 2s in there for the most part. So they can outscore you even though they suck defensively. Sort of like Portland. They suck defensively, so they just go outscore you. And Brooklyn too. They just go outscore you because we can't play no defense like that. We got 1 or 2 positions. Like I said, Richardson and Hardaway can play wing defense, but Porzingis terrible and Luka terrible defensively, so you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing then. So because Dallas sucks though, they just like, we gonna get about 3s and outscore you. And that's what they did. But if the Clippers don't get to 115 that night, they're not gonna beat Dallas. They're not gonna beat them. So in regulation, you gotta get to that in regulation. They go outscore you. Same way Portland outscored Denver. Same way Brooklyn is. Like if you don't get, and Brooklyn was off and still scored 104. So like they ain't gonna be off in this game. It's gonna be 120. So I'm saying if you don't get to 115, 120 with those teams, you gonna lose. So I don't know. The Clippers can get to that. Don't get me wrong, but the ease in which Dallas gets to that is a problem. True. Yeah, that's the problem. Like it's a lot of ice. It's too much ISO. They play really good when Rondo got in. He's telling them all the way now. I don't know how, but it seemed like Rondo become a 90% 3-point shooter when the playoffs start. That man be 50, 40, 90 when the playoffs start. Man turn to Kyrie. But I don't see. They let him open so much. They let him open more than they did. The Golden State did Ja. He was knocking him down every time. While Paul George can make nothing. But that's the last one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Dallas only because I feel they probably had they had a little bit better chemistry towards the end of the series.
I think they got the motivation factor too, because they feel like they should have beat Clippers last time and didn't, because Porzingis got kicked out of one game and then got hurt.
I think Porzingis is more of a. He's more of a.
It was 2-2, I think, with Porzingis.
No. It was
in the bubble.
No, it was 2-1 when he got hurt.
That's not that.
Okay.
So
they lost in 6.
Yeah, I can't remember when he got hurt, and Dallas ended up tying it up again.
Okay.
I think Clippers won, but I think when it comes to them, Porzingis is when it comes to the series, Porzingis is the X factor, only because he can neutralize a lot of what the Clippers do.
Mm-hmm.
He can neutralize it by the fact of it takes pressure off Luka. Luka gets his, but sometimes Luka would get his at the expense of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis plays his within the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So it may be easier for, as long as Porzingis is healthy, it's easier for him to. His game suits better against them because now when you take Serge away, Luka can go against Zubac or somebody down there. That's not hard because Zubac's not athletic. So when you got somebody that's not athletic with another non-athletic person, it's kind of, all right, who's the better player? Well, Luka's better than Zubac, but and then bringing Porzingis, having Porzingis means you have to put Serge or the Morris twin on him. That's the only two options you really get, because you can't put Paul George or somebody on him because he's gonna shoot over all of them. So it's easier to put Serge because Serge is 6'9", at least he's 6'9", 6'10". So he's kind of X factor because I feel like Luka's gonna do Luka, but sometimes his is not fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis is a more fluid scorer. Porzingis is a more fluid player. I think Lucas is more technically sound to where I think his is more technically sound. He knows how to play basketball. Porzingis can bag you down, turn around, but Porzingis also do what Paul George does. He catch and shoot. He can catch it and let it go without even pulling it down. As soon as he catch it, it's gone. His game is a little bit more fluid. And then last year, I think this year the Clippers are gonna put more emphasis on Porzingis because they saw what he could do last year, and they didn't do nothing to stop it. He had 33 of those games, and it was because
that's what I'm saying. He wasn't shooting particularly well this game.
So
it's not great.
Yeah, so I have Dallas, and then 2,
check these stats.
When it comes to the Clippers are one of the worst late game closing teams.
Now they will do that. They will struck down
the numbers prove that the Clippers are one of the they one of the worst clutch teams in the NBA, even though they the number one in 3-point percentage, number one in free throw percentage. They missed a lot of free throws in the fourth quarter tonight.
That's who it was. It was Finney Smith. That's who kept on that.
They missed a lot. They missed a lot of free throws. Legs got tight tonight at the end of the free throw line because Kawhi missed Marcus. I think Morris missed 2. Kawhi missed 1. Somebody else missed another one. So you can be great as a free throw shooter in the first.
They were in it. They were in it then.
Yeah, I said, but you could be
tied 1-on-1. I mean,
you could be a great 3-point shooter when you in the first 3 quarters. You could be great then, but when it's the fourth quarter, you need to make your free throws to keep the game close. you can't, and you can't make, and you can't. So if you can't keep it close, I don't know if they can consistently make free throws down the stretch. And two, I'm not 100% sure what Paul George I'm gonna get.
Well, the Clippers are not. They're not built to come back. They built to play with the league.
Yeah.
If they come,
Kawhi came out.
If they come in and get at you,
yeah,
then they can do that. But like if you got them down 15, they're not built to come back.
So I mean, with that retrospect, I'm gonna go Dallas in 7. But if the Clippers win, I'm not surprised if the Clippers win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not surprised if the Clippers win.
I picked the Clippers in 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas won.
Yeah, and I'm picking Dallas as a long shot because I expect Luka not to get thrown out of a game because he's one technical away getting suspended. So I'm a believe he don't get thrown out of a game because he still complained a lot. So I'm not going.
I wish they didn't roll over from the regular season.
Yeah.
I wish you like at the regular season.
Since you do like
everything
playoff
else,
score and everything else.
Well, I mean that's the case. LeBron would have 3 rings.
What you say?
Because
Draymond
got suspended because of some text rolled over.
Yeah, true.
Because them Jones don't roll over. It's a fresh series. I'm not 100% sure they get. I'm not 100% sure.
The rules. The rules are the rules.
Wait, but he didn't. That's not why he got suspended though.
Yeah, he got.
It was the flagrant.
Yeah, he got 2 texts.
Wasn't it?
And he got.
Yeah, but you know the text makes you get suspended because a flagrant.
He got suspended because he called him. He called him the B word in front of the commission. That's why he got suspended, and he hit him in the nuts too. That's why the suspension.
Yeah, I thought it was off the flagrant. I didn't know it was off the text, but it could have been off the text. You might be
right. Yeah, but he basically got
the flagrant count as technical fouls.
No.
But it sounded like the
league. Don't count as text.
But it sounded like the league suspended him for his actions while the deputy commissioner were there. I don't think it had anything to do with like the amount of texts he had at the time. It sounded like he got suspended based on the fact that they felt like his disrespect.
Those texts.
I mean, I can't remember if you got a text for that or flagrant.
He didn't get. That's what I'm saying. I don't think he got teed up for that. I think he got tossed for his the behavior.
Did they call it a flagrant and kick him out, and then he was just suspended after that because of
that's what I thought.
I can't remember, but you might be right. He might have got taken in and then, like you said, rolled over. But you know, Draymond would have got ran over the text just in the playoff alone that year.
True.
So
true.
They wouldn't have rolled over, but yeah, I wish they didn't roll over. Like you said, that's the only stat that roll over. It seems like nothing else roll over. Points, assists, nothing in the major stuff roll over, but text do. You think they're like, oh, I made it throughout the regular season, I got a clean slate now. That's how you would think, but
yeah, he got
even if they cross that number, because ain't it like what's it like 12 or something text, 13 or something text?
Nah, it's like 18.
Oh, it's 18 now? Yeah. But so I'm saying like, so if for the playoffs you knocked it down to 8 because you know it's shorter, but if you give more than 8 texts, then you gonna get suspended. Then it's like, but we started over, but it ain't gotta be, you ain't gotta roll over.
He got suspended because of fouls. That was his 3rd flagrant of the year. I mean, that was his 3rd flagrant of that postseason.
Yeah.
So they suspended him because they suspended the flagrant. He got another one, and that counts. Those accumulate. Those go towards your tech total as well. So they get
every time he play LeBron, he get a flagrant.
So he got that one, and then, but like I said, there ain't no telling
cool.
what happened. But I
said they supposed to be cool, but every time he play LeBron, he get a flagrant.
Yeah, so it just is what it is. But those look like, I mean, at the end of the day, that's probably what each series. I mean, we really didn't disagree on a lot of those, honestly. Dallas and maybe the Dallas Clippers we thought of.
The Miami Milwaukee series probably the only one.
The Miami Milwaukee series can go.
I got Milwaukee. Y'all got Miami now.
Miami and Milwaukee could go either way. The Clippers and Mavericks can go either way. Other than that, I think the other ones are kind of more so. I don't want to say definitive, but the other teams are highly favored.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the Portland and Denver series can go either way. I think that's one.
Yeah, that one can go either way. But I think the thing that I'm gonna hold with Denver is I just don't know what Michael Porter Jr. is gonna give me every game.
Yeah, if Murray was there, this would have been
Then this would be way closer. But when I look at it, Denver, I mean, Portland got 3 of the top 5 players.
Yeah, I was saying if Murray was there, then it would have been a wash between him and Yoke and Dame and CJ. It'd been a wash pretty much. It might even be an advantage. Denver, maybe. So,
so I mean, it's
a wash. But now that they got Dame, I mean, you can say that Michael Porter Jr. could possibly be that second, but he don't influence winning because he ain't passing nothing.
I'm not 100%. With that one, I'm not 100% sure of where we're going to go with that one, only because I don't know what Michael Porter can give me on a consistent basis. And with CJ and Dame, I know what I'm going to get. And then also, I like the addition of Norman Powell, plus I like Robert Covington. I like Covington playing as well. And Nurkic is going to do what he has to do. So Nurkic is going to do his best on Jokic. It's not going to give him so far, but still, he can bother him. He can bother him enough to where the series, Yo going to have to average 25 for the series. He going to have to average 25.
Average 35. Probably.
And have
a double.
Michael Porter got 23 tonight, but they lost by I forgot how much they lost by.
Wasn't by 10 or something? 10
yeah,
or 12?
so but he got 25 tonight, but they lost by 10. So it's it's one of those. He had games last year in the bubble where he scored 12 points, but they were meaningful 12.
Yeah. I think you have to nullify Dame's playmaking for the series because you might not be able to stop him from scoring, but he had 13 assists tonight, and they said his points plus the points he assisted on average 60 or equaled up to 66 points. You can't let one player get 66 points basically between his points and assists. He can't do that. So he has, and when Jokic, they kept him down to where his was just 37, and he had 34. So they kept his playmaking down, and they ain't got another playmaker.
Right. And
they let Dame be the playmaker. So they can't let that happen. So because if he do that and then CJ give you another 20, 25, then y'all will be out the game between 2 players. So you can't let them do that. So like I said, even though Michael Porter Jr. had 23, he ain't helping nobody. Because they nullifying Jokic's ability to create and assist because Nurkic is stopping him from. It's like you just go score. You might score your 30, but that's not what's gonna beat us. Like the same with Luka. If Luka score 30, that's not what beat you. It's the 10, 11, 12 assists that's gonna kill you. Like Jokic, if you keep his assists down, you start. And Michael Porter Jr. ain't about to get no assists. I mean, you stop his assists, ain't nobody else gonna be able to beat you because ain't nobody else gonna get the ball because can't nobody else create outside of him and Michael Porter. So Melo got plenty of open shots off of Dame, and so did Powell and CJ. Everybody got open shots off of Dame. So you can't let them do that again. But watch they let them do it again. Them are good at getting down 3-1. They good for that.
But yeah, that's probably the simplest things that we can do. And I probably those series once all of those are done, we'll probably do a round 2 of what we're gonna do with the quarterfinals, isn't it? After that, and then we'll see what teams advance to that area, and hopefully all the picks probably most of them will advance. Hopefully, but
so we can keep track. We can keep track of our picks and see what percentage we all came out or what
over time, like they do. They
over this first round. Yeah, we can see what our records are after this first round because it's 8 series. And we can see out of 8 how many we got right.
Yeah. Yeah, but we all got all our picks. Most of the picks, like I said, are the same outside of the Dallas Clippers, the Denver.
Then we all pick Dallas.
No, I thought Charlotte picked
You picked the Clippers. Okay.
But
and the Miami series,
But those two series, if the other one win, I'm not surprised type deals.
No, none of those three series am I surprised at the other one.
Yeah, I think everything else is a little bit more definitive than what the other one is. But like I said, I think that's more than enough time for us to wrap this up. We went in a little bit depth of a lot of things that we talked about. It's probably an extended cut of a lot of different things at the end of this. So you guys probably get the full video, maybe possibly. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna do some editing and see what all is in there. So I don't know. I'm not trying to upload 2.5-hour video, but I will. Other than that, it's the same thing. Who you got debate comes. I got a lot of different things coming up, a lot of different things that I'm working on. So bear with me. My YouTube will be coming back up. Everything will be coming back up very soon. I just gotta, take a step back, reevaluate what I want to do on the YouTube, and then start coming out with a little bit more content. So you guys, this is one of the things that I'm probably gonna start back doing a lot because sports debates go on a lot in our family. It goes a lot in our house. And a lot of the times there's a lot of in-depth insight. I mean, a lot of these commentators, a lot of these TV shows, a lot of this stuff, half of them ain't played a lick of basketball, football, soccer, or nothing, and they get up there and get paid for their opinion. So I don't think I have a problem giving my opinion for free right now. So just like always, just subscribe to the channel. A lot of new content is coming. I'm gonna revamp some of the stuff I put out. I'm gonna keep some of the stuff. I might change some other things, get a couple more people into it. When you look at it, my brother's info, their Instagram, Facebook info, stuff like that, all that will be at the end of the video to where you can go follow them. If you need any paintings or anything like that, you can go follow my brother, MD White. You can see his painting right there in the background with the Eye of the Storm. You go check that out. If you want anything done, you go do all of that. I got my other brother right there, DJ Coldflow. Any events or any needs or something like that, if you need anything like that, any music suggestions or anything to help celebrate a person or a loved one, anything like that, you will be able to hit them up too. I'm just here, just trying to help everybody out. Stuff happened to me, cool. If it don't, yeah, what it is. I ain't really tripping about it. So once again, y'all just like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm at 180 something subscribers right now. So hopefully I get up to 200 soon, and then I'll just go from there. Different things gonna come out soon as well. And once again, we'll see you guys again next week on another episode of Who You Got Debate.
You feel me?